G'day everyone, AzureBlaze, and welcome to another overview of, well, Reforj, its updates, as I now like to do, starting with TU5. However, I know this one's going to go out a little bit late, and it's mainly because I've been at work and stuff like that, and I haven't actually have time to get around to really doing much of it. However, yeah, this is TU6. It released right at the start of the year. It's only a smaller update. It's more, I guess, like odds and ends, things that people want, like quality of life features. That's the one. And we can start right here with a red screen effect that has now been that now displays when the player has low health. I haven't actually tested this. Geronimo? Okay, not low enough health by the looks of it. Let's try this again. World settings, creative. Did I put it into creative then? Ow. Well, something hit me then. Oh, I'm in creative now. Okay, yeah. Let's try this again. World settings. Please don't tell me. Yeah, okay. I mean, there was a red screen. I don't know if that was the right one specifically that that was being talked about. Gosh, this is frustrating. Hold on. I will get this. I will do this. I just simply need to get all the way back over here again. Where are my fences and stuff like that. And let's try this once more. I didn't even think about trying this beforehand. Okay, let's go this way. Obviously, I have enough health left where it's not going to show the red screen. Let's try this again. Okay, red. Now, getting hurt. It's flashing red. Is that what they mean? It's jump. Nope. And ow. That didn't. Oh, not ow. That was the wrong word. Okay, let's try this again. Jump. Oh yeah, it starts to go red around the screen. Oh, there you go. You know, that is definitely something I should have tried beforehand. However, I didn't because I am silly and I cannot be bothered doing it now. Anyway, let's head back up. Up and away, please. There we go. I don't know why I didn't want to go back up then. Okay, let's try this again. Yeah, the next thing though, after that red screen, is wood. Wood has been changed. Did that not change? Oh, that changed. Yeah, it did. Okay, yeah, wood has been changed. You now get more from one sort of wood. As we can see in here, if I take it, I realized I didn't put down a crafting workbench. Gosh, I'm awful today. I really quickly set this up before I started recording. Okay, let's put down a workbench right here, and then let's switch back to survival, and then now instead of getting 2, you get 4 timber, which is a lot better. That's going to make my life a lot easier on the survival world because I was actually really struggling with that sort of stuff. Anyway, yeah, next thing up, butterflies. Butterflies now come in 9 different colors apparently. I've simply laid stuff out here. However, is there any sort of floating around? There's a butterfly over there. There's some more butterflies over here. Apparently they come in 9 different colors now, which is fancy. And through this, boom blocks, well, not necessarily boom blocks, explosions in general, you can now, there is a setting to turn off explosions damage terrain, which is basically the same as like it won't destroy the terrain if you use one. Can I mine them? Oh, brace level 2. Oh, hold on. back to creative. I wish there was a quicker way to get back to creative. Yeah, no, if I use a boom block, where are they again now? There they are. And I turn off explosions damage terrain. Up, come on. And then I don't know, let's fire it out. It doesn't damage the terrain anymore, which is very neat, always handy to have. Okay, and then now there is a big old X. The crosshair changes now when you can't do something. Let's see if I can find the best. Hold on. Turn it back to survival. Is there something I can do to sort of work that out. I did it before accidentally, which is the funny thing. I cannot figure it out. I was doing it a whole bunch before. Basically now if there's like an action that you can't do, it will come up with a little X on the screen. And no, nothing's not showing it. Oh yeah, it should come up with like a little X on the screen. Oh, I know a way to show. If I get a torch, let's find like, can you put them on these grounds? Oh, that's not what I meant to do. Because you can't put them on certain ground. Is there any around here though that I can do it with? Let's head back over into the more rocky areas. Say like, not there. Oh, it's pushing it in front. Hold on, where's this again? Down here. There's some parts where you can't put torches, and that's a good thing to show it with, I find. There you go, there's like an X that pops up instead, which I think is really neat. It's very handy, because sometimes I'll simply click away and go, oh, it didn't do anything. Anyway, yeah, moving on. I feel like I should stay in creative mode at this point. I feel like there has been some updates to the minimap. To be honest with you, I can't tell them. However, apparently the minimap markers, there's minimap markers that have a border now, which make them easier to see. And players in online games are now represented by directional arrows, which I wouldn't be able to tell you anyway. However, yeah, makes it, which is nice. I think that's good. They've changed the controls. This one I need to be in survival for. Of how this works. You now use LB and RB to switch between crafting and inventory instead of RT and LT, which I prefer. Down here, if we switch back into creative mode, world settings, creative, there we go. If I get an item, the blaster, they changed a whole bunch of the blaster too, which is neat. You can now fire collectibles through holes, like gaps and stuff, which I didn't know you couldn't do before, or apparently you can. Another big thing with the blaster is it now has a cooldown, which is neat. There we go. Now then there is apparently something else that has changed as well, as games in the join game list now display their game mode. I wouldn't know, I haven't tried it. The Nightbloom Thorn can be fired underwater, which I can show by going here and going underwater since I'm in creative mode, and you can fire it like that. The same way you can fire it like that. Pretty neat. Then over here, the blaster can be used while gliding, which is fantastic, I guess. Let's grab a... Oh, let's grab another one of these then, I guess. I didn't mean to do that, however... Let's just try this again. This is very, very unprofessional, however, it's fine. I'm fine. There we go, let's grab a stack. And then if I... Oh, I didn't mean to fly, however, this is probably handy anyway. And glide. Oh, I meant to be in here. There we go. I can now use the blaster while gliding, which is going to be interesting to see what comes of that. Anyway, moving on. Prairie grain is now renamed to prairie wheat, which makes a lot more sense to me. And then I have nothing else here to show off. However, some other new things are players can now be heard when other players, when other players are taken out in online games. And there's new sound effects for the blaster overheating and misfiring. I mean, the overheating was already there. However, there's new sound effects for it. The boom block isn't ignited, has new sound effects, as was heard before. And when the player starts or stops fast swimming, which is handy dandy as well. And as for fixes and slight minor changes and everything like that, I went through them last time, I may as well go through them again. I haven't set anything up for them. Games and join game lists are now sorted appropriately. I don't know how they were before. The load game list is no longer available if the player has no worlds, which makes a lot of sense. There's a confirmation pop-up that pops up when attempting to kick a player from an online game, which is another thing that makes sense. There's added a tutorial prompt for spawn protection, which I don't understand what that means. I'm assuming that has something to do with like like adding a spawn point around like mobs or something. I have no clue. Yeah, or if you like put down a fire or something like that, it might be what it is. The half doors can no longer be generated when blasted into a small space. I didn't know that was a problem. Apparently it was. Or a storage container interacts, like the interaction speed is increased and now allows for players to take and deposit the maximum possible aura, which is a good change. It's something I probably could have shown. Improved the Stalac collision to better fit the shape of the Stalac. The Stalac, I believe, I may be wrong actually. I haven't actually used the skinny thingy on it. If I fly down, where is it? I did have like a thing ready to go down here. Obviously, I've lost it. Oh, what? I had torches and everything already here. To go down. Did I go through the wrong one? Hold on a second. I did go through the wrong one. Where's the other one? Oh, there it is. I was like, I'm pretty sure I had something set up for the Stalac. I'm assuming the Stalac, yeah, is one down here. Is there one? Oh, it disappeared. There was one up there and there. I'm assuming that's what they are, though. These ones. That sort of like hang from the roof here. If I put that down. There we go. These ones. I'm assuming that is a Stalac. Yes. If you can read this, is probably too late. Yeah. Apparently, the collision better fits the shape of the Stalac, which is probably a handy dandy thing as well. Tunnelers will no longer see cushions as unpassable terrain when charging at them from below. Which, I mean, that is kind of funny that they thought that in the first place. However, I guess that's probably a good thing. Player names and minimap markers don't display until the player is fully loaded into an ongoing game, which makes sense. Skimmers no longer take damage from the blaster in creative mode. Let's find out, shall we? Oh, there's a bunch of skimmers before. Where are they? Here's one. Blaster. Oh. Come back. Oh. It lies. I accidentally hit that poor skimmer. I didn't want to. It said they no longer take damage from blaster in creative mode. Anyway, the boom block blasted another player when they're at their feet while gliding, or in their feet in general. It'll no longer be placed if it's blasted at their feet. The boom block is now correctly damages bedrock. Clients in an online game can now make changes around an aura campfire that they have respawned at, which is neat. Players in an online game can now correctly hear bracer blast sound effects. Again, I wouldn't know anything about the online games. Canister place / collect sound is now correctly tied to sound effect volume. All players in an online game can now see leaves, destruction, like the visual effects for leaves. Bracer blast visual effect now correctly reflects the player's rotation. Respawning after being taken out far from your spawn point will no longer cause the world to be covered in fog or display in a low resolution, which is, again, not something I knew that happened. World screenshots in the load game list should now always display correctly. Yep. What else is there? Doors placed when the player is facing north are now textured correctly. All players in an online game now correctly see each other's players dive bombing with the wingsuit. Rapidly selecting the same item in an online game will no longer cause the stack quantity to display an incorrect value. And moving to the input/output slot of a station will now display the correct quantity of ingredients owned. Yeah, a fair few bug fixes. It's mainly a as I said, it's a quality of life one. They said that as well. However, it's neat. It's a nice little gift to have like straight away at the start of the year. I wasn't expecting it, considering 2U5 only came out in December. However, yeah, it's good. There is a good amount of changes here too. While there's no like additions as such, like the changes, like little additions of effects and things like that, which make it feel a lot more finished and things. I don't know. I like that. However, yeah, that is my overview, thoughts, impressions thing of TU6 for Reforj. I hope everybody enjoyed. Thank you for watching, and I shall be back in the next one. Cheers, everyone.